Hey, what's going on back here? Mike Kramer, helping YouTubers over 40, and I want you to get into YouTube Studio. You got to be comfortable with it. You want to hit record, and I encourage that, right? Like, you don't know what you don't know, so hit record. Do everything publishing that video into YouTube so that you know all the steps. You don't have to say it's public. You can set it to private. Nobody will see it, but that way you'll understand this whole process, and you get to see real data then in YouTube Studio. Now, you won't see any of the publish and view data until you actually start publishing to the real world, which I highly recommend, but you need to get obsessed. If you really are serious about YouTube and it's not just about putting out garbage and videos, like no one's going to watch that. You got to really ask yourself and be critical. Like, are you going to watch what you're putting out? Like, is that thumbnail going to make you click on it? Look at other people in your category, in your niche, and see what their thumbnails look like and put yours next to it and ask yourself if you'd click on your thumbnail. So I'm going to show you a couple free and cheap ways to make some great thumbnails that are more catchy, look more professional and things like that. But you can really keep it simple, and it's all about 2-3 words and maybe a picture. It's all about compelling somebody to click on your thumbnail. So we're going to walk through step by step. I have another video I just put out on creating a YouTube channel from scratch. That's even a Google account from scratch, and then gets you into YouTube with a new YouTube channel, and then even a brand account, which I highly recommend doing that early on and understanding that, especially if you want to create more than one channel, which I don't think I recommend to beginners just because there's so much to learn and you really want to just focus on one channel if you want to be successful. It's hard enough to be consistent and put out good content with one channel. It's going to be even harder if you try to do that with multiple channels. But perhaps maybe you have another creator in your house and you're going to have different brand accounts on the same computer or whatnot, or tied to the same Google account. So with that said, I want you to learn YouTube Studio, at least get familiar with it at the beginning, but I want you to dive in and really start studying it. I wouldn't worry too much about the stats. It's one mistake a lot of noobs make, or newbies, is studying all these stats when you've only put out a couple videos, even your first 10 videos. I mean, it's good to be familiar with YouTube Studio, but don't obsess over it, because honestly, you're not going to have enough content until you have at least 24 videos. You're not even going to have much information to go off of. At least 10 before you start looking at them, and that might give you some info, but it's just not a large sample size. I mean, you'd want at least a video a week for 6 months. That's 26 videos before you're using it to make decisions. All right, let's share the screen and start with the dashboard. So we're going to run through each of these quickly, and we'll come back to dashboard and these top 3 because you're going to spend most of your time there. And from the top down, really, you got the hamburger menu that just kind of makes those into icons. I like to leave it because I don't know what all the icons mean. Shortcut to Studio, shortcut to your channel. It'll open it in a new tab. You could see it how everyone else sees it. You also have, of course, dashboard, which we're on. And that has a lot of nice stats about your most recent video, likes, comments, watches, comments, and likes, how the first day and 7 hours have done, how it ranked out of your last 10 videos, and, views, click-through rate, which is kind of like how your thumbnail's doing, average view duration, really how your video is keeping people engaged. You want those both to be good, right? If you have a terrible CTR or click-through rate, it means your thumbnail needs work. And if you have a very low view duration, it means people are bailing. You're not engaging them. Either it's not what they were looking for, or it's a not engaging video. You're not hooking them. You're not doing what we call open loops and stuff like that. So we'll talk more about that later, but it's just good to know this page. We're going to focus on YouTube Studio here. It's showing a summary of your last few kind of published videos, and you can go to all of them. And we're staying, in the left column here, and you can have posts to start in your community. It's really almost like a Facebook group. Of course, it looks totally different. And then I have some extra stuff from vidIQ, and I really like vidIQ. It's what I use to help improve my channel and help it grow. I'll put a link to that in the description. But back at the top here, we have channel analytics, current subscribers, how many you've gained in the last 28 days, which is kind of nice. It's good to see I gained 5, so that's cool. Thank you for all the subs out there. And summary in the last 28 days, you got views, watch time, your top content, of course, shortcut to the analytics over here, and some comments. And you could see your comments and respond to them all too. If you go, it'll just kind of go to I think it goes to content. I don't know. But what's nice is there's a place, if you click that, you can respond to them all. No matter which video they commented on, you could respond all from one place. You can see recent subscribers. So thank you to Jason and DZF Reacts and Meet the Duckies. Cool to see all of you in here. And then Creator Insider. So this is pretty cool because you can watch these tips and things from the Creator Insider community from YouTube, where they're really trying to help you grow your channel and promote it and everything. So that's really neat. And then they'll tell you what's new in studio, including all the different either features or other things that are going on. So that's the dashboard, and it's pretty cool stuff. Up here you have upload video, go live, and you have creating a post for your community, all right there. And across the top, of course, your search, some vidIQ stuff, again, from the thing I pay for. You can get help right away there. Your Ask Studio kind of AI thing that looks like a Gemini icon from Google, which makes sense. And your notifications, if you got any, like people watching or commenting, and another link to create where you can upload, go live, or create any of these other new things, including a podcast or course, which we'll talk about in another video. And again, that link to your user where you can switch accounts and do that sort of thing. So back in Studio, you go to Content. So in the Content tab, there's a lot of other tabs across the top, and it seems quite overwhelming. But at a glance, what I like is you can see what's scheduled and what's public, when you publish them, and a summary, kind of the views, comments, likes, and all that sort of thing. And you can see some of these I'm doing an A/B test on the thumbnail. That's why it's got this weird, see, it says A/B test running if I don't hover over it. So look just below my yellow cursor and below on that one. And you can see the thumbnail looks weird. And that's because I'm running an A/B test to see, I have two similar thumbnails and I'm seeing which one gets more attention. That's really not going to work. I was just kind of playing with it. It's not going to work till I have like 100 views per video or more, because without enough sample data, it's not going to know which one did better. But that's kind of neat. You can see which ones are visible, which are set to public, and you can also filter from there and get a quick view. If you click on the word filter, you can now filter by visibility and look at just the private ones or things like that, or any of these other filters across the top. So you can go to inspiration, and no one knows what that does. I guess it didn't do anything. All right, so we're going to exit. Come on. Inspiration loaded. So it freaked out, but if you click inspiration, there's a lot of cool stuff in there you could review. I mean, you could probably spend a whole weekend going through all this kind of stuff to get ideas. Some of this kind of stuff is in vidIQ as well, but this is free and it's on YouTube Studio, and there's a lot of cool stuff there. If you're into shorts, I mean, I did a few a while ago, 4 years ago or whatever, but they're not bad. You'll get more views and you think, oh, that's the way to go. I'm just more of a long form content creator, and I think it's the future. I think it's the way to have the evergreen content that people are going to watch over and over and go back to. I'm just not a shorts and portrait short form video content. I don't like the short attention span stuff. But if it's your jam, hey, go ahead, go for it. That's where you can find all your videos, your lives. If you go live, like I did a few times, you'll see them in there. Any community posts you'll put in there. So I got to start doing that, and I'll show you how playlists that you've created, either private playlists that for yourself, or I went on some travel adventures and save them in there, or you could have public playlists that you and the community could see on my channel, that you can go and review and watch them by some kind of category, like productivity I did here. And podcasts, if you created one, I do have one on another channel I'll show you. It's a special type of playlist that you mark as a podcast, and it'll start. YouTube has a way to kind of distribute that with an RSS feed and stuff like that. Courses are another thing you can create on there, and I think you could have a paywall for that too, so we can go over that. And if you have a business or something else, you may want to pay to promote your channel and videos, stuff like that. Right from there, you can collab with other people, and both people will get this in the content to show up in their collaborations tab. And then vidIQ adds a couple extra features. So again, these two is a lot here to cover, right? But just so you don't feel overwhelmed, the dashboard and content and analytics are going to be where you spend most of your time, and they have the most information. And you'll go in community too and respond and post content, stuff like that. Let's go on to analytics. And so from analytics, you could see asking Gemini AI, like how to just click on it and how did they find me? How many did I reach? Summarize my latest video performance. Again, Video IQ adds some features and stuff like that. There's a date filter here, right? You can go in advanced mode, but I haven't done that. That's if you're really diving in and you want to see a lot more information, but you could do the calendar and filter here. These are when you published videos, so that's kind of cool. You could see how consistent you were. I really like that. And you could see like, oh, this guy in the new year, once he figured out what he was doing, right? He started publishing. I had 2 on the 1st, 1 on the 8th, a week later, and then I started trying to do 3 a week. So boom, 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 you'll see those. And there's different tabs here, right? For watch time, for subscribers, and you can see how that's growing. And there's a little graph there for each one. If you click the see more, it really just gives you more information, and you can divide it and split it by different metrics. And they use these different kind of colored lines to show the videos and all sorts of crazy stuff. But that is the advanced mode. So in the upper right, you click this little X button. You can go back to the screen. You have your top content. You have kind of real-time updating live, stuff like that. Over here, if you were a popular channel, that would probably upload quite a bit. Your latest content, top content. So cool stuff in there, but that's just the overview, right? So you have these other tabs like content and dive deeper into how did they find your videos, right? Did they come in through YouTube search, suggested videos, browsing features? I mean, suggested videos coming in from that's really cool because that was probably from your own. That means maybe they're kind of binge watching your stuff. And top videos here, it's kind of showing you what kind of content people like better. And you can click more and get more information there. But again, each one of these has tabs, right? So you could dig into impressions and click-through rate. And you're going to want to study these once you have, again, like at least a dozen, but preferably 24 videos up. And you could start to dig in and see, okay, how do I get better? How do I improve? You go to your audience, right? And see not only the audience growing, but you could see their behavior. How many are new? How many are casual? How many are regular? You're always going to get a lot of new, at least I have, versus, your regular viewers. Watch time from subscribers versus subscribed. Eventually, once you have more people and viewers, you might get age and gender there. Device type, I find that interesting. I think TV, I heard, is going to be growing. So we'll see if that goes up from 3.6% throughout the year, maybe next year, but still the vast majority are on their mobile phone. But there's almost 40% on the computer, like over a third are viewing from computer, which I tend to do also. I do watch from my phone too, but geographies, that's pretty cool. United States, I think it'll show you which states, if you click it on the graph. I am wrong. Or there's just not enough states. I'm not really sure. But you can see it goes into advanced mode when you click through and do what we call drill down on some of those. And then different trends. You could hit the trends here and say, okay, ideas for your next video. This is pretty cool. You could brainstorm and stuff like that, right? So you can click on the different stuff it's suggesting. You can type stuff. You can see new videos to inspire you. Quick breakdown in 15 minutes or so. That hopefully will help you just get more comfortable with YouTube Studio and know what's available and what's in there. I don't want you to have to learn every single thing in there. I want you to know that it exists and there's a lot of data and metrics in there to help you succeed. And there's the support, there's the help with Creator Insider and all those inspirational tools to help you brainstorm ideas and vet them out. And over time, I want you to get better and get in the habit of going in here. Now, don't obsess on the stats till you have a couple dozen videos. You're going to want to learn these and improve. And you're going to want to actively try to get your click-through rate up with better thumbnails. You're going to want to actively increase your average view duration by hooking people and keeping them hooked with open loops, meaning, hey, stay tuned to the end. You'll find out this. Or the counts are very, very popular. It's technically an open loop when you say there's 7 things to do X, Y, Z, or 10 things, or whatever the count is, because people are now expecting. You've set up, it's called an open loop in their head because your brain wants to close it. You're going, okay, I've seen 3 of the things. I want to see 4, 5, 6. Sure, they might skip, but if your content's good, they'll watch through all that. So losing my voice, probably going to stop for the day, but let me know if any of this helped you. I hope it did. And if you have any questions about YouTube Studio, I will see you in the next one.